Joining us now is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the author of the One Big Beautiful Bill. Mike Johnson is with us. I don't think I'd ever want your job. Just for the record, I don't think I'd want it.
You're a wise man, Sean. It's not an easy one, but I tell you what, it's very rewarding today. This is a great day for the country. It really is. We got one step closer, a big step closer this morning to delivering that full America First agenda for the people, and we're super excited about it.
Well, it's the largest tax cut in American history, which also means, conversely, that Democrats and 2 Republicans voted for the largest tax increase in history because the Trump tax cuts were about to expire.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And look, we voted for all these great policies, but that is so important for everybody to remember. The Democrats are now on record this morning, Sean. They had the opportunity to undo the damage caused by the last 4 long years of Joe Biden. Instead, they doubled down. They voted against our bill. And that means they want higher taxes. They voted for more inflation, for open borders again, benefits for illegals, weakness on the world stage, fraud, waste, and abuse, all of that. That is now their recorded record. That's going to be very helpful for us in the midterm election that comes up in that first 2-year cycle when we've got to keep and grow the House majority, and we're looking forward to that contest.
And by the way, that includes no tax on tips. I worked in the service industry from the time I was 12 till I was 20. I worked in construction after that. No tax on overtime. This shows that the Republican Party, the Make America Great Again movement, is now the party of working men and women. I would argue the people that really truly make this country great.
Sean, you nailed it. And you and I have similar backgrounds, as you know. Our legislation, first of all, we make permanent, right, the 2017 Trump tax cuts. That gave the largest tax cut to low-income working families. I mean, we are the party of the working man and woman in this country. And the American people are going to feel the results of this. This is even more historic because we made those tax cuts permanent. And this is what it means. The typical American family with 2 children, okay, they're going to see their take-home pay increase by an estimated $13,300 a year. That's real money for real people. And there's about 80 million hourly workers in this country, about 4 million who are in the tipped occupations. They're going to see a pay increase. It's going to average almost $1,700. Overtime workers are going to receive a tax cut up to $1,800 a year. This is real money for real people, and this is exactly what President Trump promised on the campaign trail. We're delivering it, and that's a big thing to fulfill.
And Americans that make between $30,000 and $80,000 a year that have been struggling the last 4 years will pay, 15 to 20% less in federal taxes?
Yeah, and here's the thing, the alternative, if we had failed in this mission, and we still got to get it through the Senate, right? They're going to handle that. It'll come back to us. The goal is to get it to the President's desk by July 4th. So we have a massive Independence Day celebration of America First. It's going to be epic. But, Sean, we had to do it because if we don't get this done, the average American taxpayer is going to have a massive tax increase. It'll be the largest tax increase in U.S. history when the original Trump tax cuts would expire at the end of this year. And I mean, it's real. It's like a 22% tax increase that will befall every family. By one estimate, 26 million businesses in America would have their tax increase go up to 43%. I mean, it would be devastating. So we had no margin for error. We had to get this done. And I'm delighted we got the first big step. Now we get it to the Senate, and it goes to the President's desk.
Let me go to the Medicaid portion of this, and we have Dr. Oz on later to talk more about it specifically. Illegal immigrants, there's 1.4 million of them that get Medicaid benefits. They will be kicked off. You enter this country illegally, you shouldn't be living off the American taxpayers, in my view. Also, able-bodied Americans will be required to work if they get benefits. That's about 4.8 million people. I believe in dignity through employment myself. And it also delivers the largest deficit reduction in nearly, 30 years? How much is that?
Yeah, it's historic. I mean, look, historic deficit reduction. There's never been anything like this. Really, if you adjust for inflation, we saved, in that vote this morning, we saved almost $1.9 trillion of taxpayer funds while also checking all these boxes and delivering for the folks. And it's got everything in it. I mean, we call it the One Big Beautiful Bill. The president named it that because it's the best description. It's got historic spending cuts. It's got historic tax relief for American workers. It's got the largest investment in border security, Sean, in a generation. At the same time, all in the same legislation, we're unleashing American energy dominance. We're restoring strength on the world stage again. And to your point, we're ensuring that these programs like Medicaid and SNAP are preserved. We're securing the programs because we're making sure they're only for U.S. citizens who need and deserve them, not illegals, not people trying to cheat the system. Dr. Oz is a great member of the president's team. I talked to him 2 days ago about this as we were finalizing it. He's excited because you're right, Sean. Able-bodied young men do not need to be riding the wagon on Medicaid. They need to be working. And when we do that, when we have public policy that encourages work, it builds purpose and dignity in people's lives. It's a win-win-win all the way around.
And that's why 4.8 million able-bodied adults that choose not to work, and there are now jobs available, and we have $10 trillion in committed monies for manufacturing, which includes pharmaceuticals and semiconductor chips and automobiles, because of the president's battle over tariffs. I mean, that $10 trillion is a massive commitment. That's going to result in high-paying career jobs for Americans. But on the Medicaid question, again, it reverses the Biden-era mandate that Medicaid cover so-called gender transition procedures for minors and ending taxpayer-funded chemical castration. Frankly, I call it the mutilation of American kids. And you're right about the border because it gives the president money for mass deportations as needed. It also offers 700 miles of primary wall, 900 miles of river barriers, 629 miles of secondary barriers, 141 miles of vehicle and pedestrian barriers that will be constructed. It will boost Border Patrol and ICE agents on the front lines. This is now protecting our country, especially after the open borders of Harris and Biden that brought us, 14, 15 million? Nobody knows the actual number.
Yeah, we use the number. It might be closer to 20. There is no accurate count, and that's part of the problem. But we had to have strong leadership. President Trump has brought that back in spades. I mean, he's the most effective, most consequential president, certainly of the modern era. I mean, you can make an argument here very soon, probably in all of American history. And it's just really something. I talked to him late last night. We had a celebratory call. He has such a personal involvement in what happens in the legislative branch of the government. It's innovative. He's just that kind of leader, and it's been he's a partner in it. What a concept, right? The President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, also caring so much and helping out with the little details of making sure the legislative package is shepherded through. It's just a great thing for the country. Unified government. This is what the Republican Party represents. This is what we will deliver for the American people. We had a historic election because President Trump really set the record. 77.4 million Americans gave him the popular vote win. We had the largest popular vote win in the House among House Republicans in our history as well, 74.8 million. They gave us a mandate, Sean, and President Trump is delivering on it every day, and we're doing it as well. It's a great thing for the country.
The only issue that people have called in about that I really don't have a good answer to, because I never read the final version. I know you had your final markup last night. I think it actually happened after my TV show. As it relates to Social Security, the president had promised no taxes on Social Security. You know, where does that stand? If you're an individual, is it up to $25,000, no tax? Up to 50% of your benefits if you're at a certain level? Where does that stand for people that are concerned about Social Security?
Yes, look, what he promised on the trail and what we all echoed everywhere is that we were not going to have tax on tips, no tax on overtime. We were not going to have taxes on interest on car loans for those cars that are made in the USA. That's a big thing. And also historic tax relief for seniors on Social Security. And there is some range there, the varying ranges of people's income levels and where they are and all that. There's charts and graphs. You're right, it was being negotiated at the very end because we wanted to make sure we gave the maximum amount of relief for the people. President Trump is the president for all Americans, for hardworking Americans, for those who struggle and work hard every day to get by. They're owed that. And you know what? When you provide that kind of relief, Sean, it's good for individuals, it's good for families, for communities, states, our nation as a whole. I said in my floor speech last night, Sean, kind of as we concluded all this right before the vote, a strong America is good for the entire world. And it doesn't matter what party you're in. You ought to be cheering this along. You ought to be applauding what President Trump and Republicans in Congress are doing, because it's not a partisan exercise. We are delivering relief for everybody. And I think they're going to reward us for that in the next election cycle. You know, there's only two.
Listen, I love the fact that it gives permanent tax relief. That benefits every American. I love no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I love that you will modernize this busted air traffic control system. When I talked to Sean Duffy, I was shocked that, we're 3,000 air traffic controllers shy, and we have equipment that goes back to the 50s, 60s, and 70s. They've never modernized. And I'm glad that you got rid of any funding for the Green New Deal, $500 billion, which is insane. I love that it incentivizes made in America and rewards companies to build their products here in America. I love that it's pro-family and their MAGA accounts for newborns to start saving. I love all of that. And you're repealing the Democrats' insane attack on, requirement that Venmo and PayPal and other transactions over $600 be reported to the IRS. Can you please leave us alone? It protects farmers. But let me go back to the Social Security question. Are people in every category paying less? Is anybody paying more?
No one's paying more. Everybody's paying less, and I don't have the final schematic in front of me with all the numbers, but it's real relief. And I think the average is about $5,000 back in the pockets of seniors who are relying on Social Security. They're varying degrees, of course, of how much they receive and all of that. There are tables that correspond with all this. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm telling you, it is real relief for everybody, and that's exactly what the president promised. That's what we are delivering. And importantly, Sean, by the way, we're doing this in a way that is fiscally responsible because we're trying to change the debt trajectory of the country because we've got to do that. We all know how important it is. It's the number one threat to our national security. So these are investments. I mean, when you put money back in the pockets of the American people, that's how the economy grows because they spend it and they invest it. And job creators and risk takers and entrepreneurs expand their businesses and add more employees, wages go up. The beautiful thing about this, Sean, is it's not theory. We've already proven this. We had a first Trump administration. And you and I know, because you talk about it all the time, remind people, out of the first 2 years of the first Trump administration, we brought about the greatest economy in the history of the world, not just the U.S., because we cut taxes and cut regulations, and we let the free market flourish. That's what we're doing this time, and now on steroids, because all these other things are with it as well.
In this bill, you will modernize this busted air traffic control system. In this bill, you will begin, especially with the Golden Dome, but with other weapon systems as well, be building out the next generation of weaponry. In this bill, you will unleash America's energy dominance, which I believe we're going to have the lowest prices for gasoline on Memorial Day, if you factor in inflation, since, in the last 20 plus years. And it will boost our mineral development so we won't be dependent on other countries. Those are four very big components to me. I'll give you the last word on this part.
Yeah, I mean, look, in quick summary, America is going to be more prosperous, more secure, and more free. I mean, that's what Congress has done. The president promised it. We're delivering it.
Yeah. What about, do we have enough rare earth minerals in this country that we won't be dependent on any other country? I know we have enough natural gas, oil, and coal.
Yeah, look, God has blessed America with all these extraordinary natural resources. The problem is the Democrats and all the radical, Green New Deal agenda and all of that stuff, they have foreclosed our ability to use that. We're unwinding that. We're removing shortening the permitting processes, and we're allowing for us to mine and use the resources God's given us. It's crazy for us to be having to import critical and rare earth minerals.
Well, they wouldn't allow mining, just like they wouldn't allow drilling, just like they wouldn't allow fracking or coal mining, and just like they don't want us to have gas stoves or plastic straws.
We're getting rid of all of that, one step at a time.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Speaker. I think it's probably the most conservative bill I've ever seen passed. I think it is the most conservative bill I've ever seen passed in my lifetime, and this certainly will reap huge rewards for the American people overall. I really appreciate it. Good job, and we'll see what happens with the Senate and in conference, and hopefully by the 4th of July this will be done. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for all the air cover, my friend. God bless.